What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, August 8th, and if you hear background noise right now, it's because my wife is using the blender. Tuesday, not great for me, although I did get a home run, which was satisfying. As soon as Chris started talking smack in the Slack chat, Seager had already homered, so I was just like, sweet. I got the alert, I got the alert for Seager before I saw that he got one too, so I was just getting ready to come in and talk smack. And I saw his message, and I was like, oh, he pasted in that tweet, and it was Cruz. I was like, all right, fine, I'll take it. I got clobbered last night. Another super crap night. These last two nights have been not great, so I'm ready to get back on the winning ways of last week. Jake, how did you end up yesterday?
I'm ready to get back onto the winning ways as well. So did not get there last night, but today's a new day, so we've got a really, really interesting slate. Not a lot of pitching, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
It was really tough to try to write about 3 spotlight pitchers, but I don't know. It's there. So probably going to use a bunch of different guys today because it is ugly.
Speaking of pitching, great night last night out of Vargas.
Oh, my God.
Third of an inning, rain delay, and garbage. Threw like 27 pitches or something stupid.
Yeah.
Look, what are you going to do there, man? Not that it was going great to start. It might be better that it happened the way it did, but, you know, I didn't expect the monster delay.
They got an inning, or like part of the inning in, right?
Yeah.
They just shouldn't have started the game.
No, I hate that shit.
Have these guys ever seen a radar? Like, what are we doing?
That was the Vargas train, Josh. Yeah, that train derailed almost immediately upon boarding.
Yep.
Look, that shit's going to happen. Here's the difference between me and Chris in that call, because Chris was talking smack about Vargas being worse than Bailey. I think Jason Vargas sucks. He actually thought Bailey was good. I was under no... I didn't think Vargas was going to go out there and throw like 8 innings to shutout ball. He's garbage. He just happened to be priced at 4,100 or whatever.
Right.
I don't care about the talent of him. I don't make talent plays. I make value plays. That one ended up being a shit value.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, we can be done talking about Vargas and Bailey.
Yeah.
These guys.
I mean, I'm gonna roster him again in 5 days.
Right. I'm just like, yeah.
It's not.
It doesn't change anything for me really going forward if they're going to continue to price them at $5K.
Exactly. So. It's a mechanism of lineup construction.
Yeah.
These guys are just numbers on a paper for me. I probably couldn't pick Jason Vargas out of a 2-person lineup.
Well, the Mets didn't even know he was a player when he tried to get in through security once.
I thought Trey Turner was black for like his first 3 seasons.
Really?
Yeah. I don't watch it's just not in front of my face anymore. It's purely like a text sport for me. I read about it, I analyze it, but I don't ever really see it.
I see. Well, yeah, that'll explain why you thought Trey Turner was black.
Right. Well, I just like it sounded black. That's probably like a terrible thing to say. I don't have a problem with him if he was, but yeah, I thought Trey Turner was black for like a while.
Yeah.
So, you know, that happens. Speaking of Trey Turner, Braves and Nats. Braves 4.4 run implied total. Nats 4.7. It's a 52% chance to win for the Nats. Folty's going for Atlanta. Yuck. Tommy Malone going for the Nats. I have a little bit of Malone. $6,900 price point. Not too shabby. I'm a bit of a Malone fan, or at least like I used to be. But I think he's a decent value here. And I think it's going to be pretty hard to get to Folty at 10-6. So what are you thinking about for pitching here?
Folty's really, really tough for me to get to. I know he's good. I know he is capable of shutting down really tough opponents at times, but I'm not going to Folty. I'm more of the mindset that he's got a better chance to blow up here. And the Nats are kind of priced down, especially Rendon, Eaton, Soto, Adams, Murphy. I think these guys are all a little bit underpriced. So I like the Nats as somewhat of a value. Well, for the Nats, like relative to what they usually are. And then Malone, I like him a lot. So I just like what I'm seeing out of him. Atlanta's been really good against lefties this year, but over the last month, they've really dropped off. 145 ISO, 88 WRC plus. And then Malone's like plate discipline numbers, his chase rate, 45%. First pitch strike rate, 74%. Swinging strike rate, almost 14%. Those are like really legitimately good numbers. I know the opponents weren't anything special. I think the Mets and I can't even remember, maybe the Phillies. But still, I don't expect a ton of strikeouts, but they're letting him go deep. He went 97 pitches, one of those starts. So I'm in on Malone on a terrible pitching slate. I'm going to play a bunch of them here.
There you go. I think that I might end up with him a little bit more than expected as moving forward. I have a lot of John Gant right now. Spoiler alert. And I think that when the ownership comes out, if Gant's where I think he's going to be, I might mute Gant, which I think will push to Malone.
Okay.
On my first draft, that was just sort of how it got spit out. But I do like Malone on paper.
Okay.
Talking bats now, I'm like middle of the road with some of this stuff. Both teams look way better on DraftKings than they do on FanDuel. So like Braves are 9th for me on FanDuel, 5th for me on DK. Nats are 8th for me on FanDuel, 6th for me on DK. Just very different pricing structures right now. So, there's 18 teams going today? These are like a top third stack for me. I'll have a bit of the Braves and a bit of the Nats, mostly the top of the order for each. Except for noted incredible catcher Matt Wieters for the Nationals.
Yeah, not much Wieters for me, but I understand the Braves stack, especially if Malone's going to be, if he's going to be popular. I don't know if he's going to be popular. Honestly, I have no idea right now, but it's 90 degrees, wind pushing the ball out just a little bit.
I don't think he's going to be popular, crazy popular. I usually have like a decent handle on the approximation of it, unless I'm really projecting his innings wrong. I'm guessing we'll see something in like the 10% range as like a ceiling.
Yeah, so then I'm not crazy about the Brave stack, but I will have some hedges just because it's been a really short sample. He wasn't good in the MLB prior to these first couple starts. So it could go poorly, but I'm more on Malone than the Braves bats. That'll be my stand, but I will have some here, or a ton of national stacks.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have a ton of Rendon at 4,100. That's just, he's too cheap right now. Rendon, he's slipping into like that early season Goldschmidt category for me, where I'm going to end up having him every day constantly because of his price point. But just bouncing between both teams. Lots of Acuna, lots of Ozzy Albies, a decent amount of Adam Duvall. If you're going to roster him, this is the day to do it. I get Tyler Flowers as my catcher. That shouldn't be surprising. And then on the Nats, Eaton, Turner, Rendon, Harper. I mean, you guys know the drill on the Nats at this point. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to be on the Nats today.
We're both on the Nats every single day.
Yeah, because, their lineup is loaded. Their first 7 hitters all have at least a 111 weighted runs created plus projected from Steamer. That's incredible.
Yeah, they're special.
So big fan all the way around there. I mean, I'm a little nervous about Fulte. Obviously, he can mow him down. It wouldn't shock me if Fulte had a good day, but I don't think he's worth the risk at 10-6. So I'll have some bats. They're not my top priority, but, both teams look like a secondary stack for me.
Got it.
There we go. I think I did right by you, Braves. Don't be mad at me. Oh, here we go. Red Sox and Blue Jays. Red Sox 5.1 run implied total. Blue Jays 4.4. It's a 57% chance to win for the Red Sox. Brian Johnson going for Boston. Mike Hochschild going for Toronto. Whatever. I've got 25% Mike Hochschild right now. $4,400 on DraftKings. Yeah, It's Mike Hochschild. I clearly don't know much about him, but statistically, grading out really well for me. Are you going to be all aboard the Hochschild train today?
I don't think so. He had a good start against Seattle, just looking at his results. So maybe people will be drawn to him, but really, really tough matchup again for Hochschild. And I was looking at some of his stuff last night from minor leagues, and it wasn't overly impressive. So I don't know. I don't want to use him here. I'm expecting he'll have some ownership because he's 4,400. But yeah, I'm probably going to go elsewhere. Like, just not messing with the Red Sox. They're one of those teams that I just would rather avoid if I can. And it's a 9-game slate. I think I could find other options.
God, this one's going to crush me today. Just 25%ing some trash Blue Jays pitcher square into the Red Sox lineup.
I mean, Stroman had success yesterday, but Stroman is a veteran pitcher. We've seen him be very good at times. We haven't seen it from this guy. Not saying he can't be, but I just have a feeling he's going to be somewhat owned at 4,400 because of the nature of the slate.
Yeah, like, he's been functional. Seems to have a little bit more swing and miss than, like, Vargas does. I'm willing to play him constantly.
Oh, I disagree.
21.5 K rate in AAA.
Yeah, okay. So maybe I was thinking more of Brett Kennedy here. Hochschild looks okay to me. Still nothing like where I'm like, man, I got to play this guy against the Red Sox. But he's got games with 19+% swing each strike rates, 15%, over 13%. So he can get swings and misses at the very least. And he threw 87 pitches last start. So I understand it. Or 89 pitches. I understand
really unlucky, too, in AAA. 366 BABIP.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't think he's a bad play, but if he's owned, I will probably go elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably won't. I don't know. We'll see where ownership comes out. I don't see any stacks. Like, I love the Dodgers, Yankees, just to talk about it. I love the Dodgers, Yankees, Cubs, Indians today. If I want to have those guys in abundance, then I'm going to need to keep my average pitcher price a little bit lower because those are some of the more expensive stacks. I think that's probably the direction I want to go. I like having bits of good hitting teams. So if that's the case, then I think Hochschild's going to end up in way more lineups than I probably should.
Okay. What about Johnson? Do you have him?
No, not at all.
Yeah, just really tough. 9 righties for any left-handed pitcher is going to be tough. I know Johnson is okay. He can strike out righties, but not someone I'm really excited to use here for 7K. And then I'm on these Toronto bats as well, the top 4 especially.
But yeah, tons of Jays bats for me.
Yeah. You go ahead. You talk about your Jays.
Yeah. Grichuk, probably one of the better values of the entire slate. Righty, lefty, leadoff spot, 3,900. I'll have him in abundance. Travis, I had a decent amount last night. Not that it got me anywhere, but he donged. I'll have a lot again tonight. Hey, Oscar looks great. Solarte looks great. Feel free to pick whichever Smoke or Morales guy you'd prefer. I think Morales probably, better matchup for him. He's a lot better against lefties than he is righties. Smoke the opposite. So take your pick for either one of those guys from a first base option. There's just a lot to like here, especially when you get that matchup against a lefty. 9 righties is going to be difficult sledding for Brian Johnson. Yeah,
agreed. So I'm right there with you.
Also, thanks to chat. Yesterday we got 179 likes on the morning show. We beat the 123 that we had from the day before. So first 2 times we've gone over 100 were these past 2 days. And now we're knocking on the door of 200. So greatly appreciate it. If you're getting to this point in the video, drop a like. It helps. Let's hit that 200 mark today. I think it's a decent goal. Ownership is out. Let's grab ownership.
Let's.
And then we'll get back into this. Yeah, 179 likes. Whew. We passed Monday's show at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, we're on fire.
It's very helpful too, so we appreciate it.
Of course.
Wow. That's some interesting Devers ownership on FanDuel. Minimum salary.
Oh.
50% owned.
Yeah. I was going to say, Devers is not even that cheap.
He's minimum salary. All right, there we go. Do I have Devers? Oh, yeah. Well, 7%. Yeah, 56% Devers. He won't be 56, but he's going to be pretty highly owned. Alrighty, so anything interesting? Oh, Hochschild, only 5%. That's, I'll have to take a deeper look into that. I'm way over the field on Brett Kennedy. Wow, this is, so I'm like backwards. Malone, only 2%, Jake.
Yeah. Tommy. It's going to win me money.
Brett Kennedy, 6%. I've got 24. Andrew Kashner, 15%. I've got 1. I would much rather have Brett Kennedy sight unseen than Kashner. Giolito getting 12%.
Yeah, no, that needs to stop.
So it looks like I'm picking different value plays today. I'm way over the field on Quintana. I'm under on Chacin at 24%. Second chalkiest pitcher on DraftKings. I liked him, but I don't know if I could have a quarter of Chacin.
Kevin, in chat, any chance for premium chat room or Discord in the future? We're thinking of doing something like that for NHL. I don't know what you guys are cooking up for NBA, Josh, or
hopefully
NFL.
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, so I was talking to Tom yesterday about that possibly being a thing for NHL, but that would obviously be a smaller amount of people.
It wouldn't shock me if we do it. I'm not like super enthusiastic about it because I think it devolves into just a crap discussion. But maybe we could, I don't know, revolutionize the chat room somehow.
Could.
I don't know. It's certainly in the realm of possibility. That's the best I could do. It's not my favorite thing. Okay, so Blue Jays. I'm over the field on the Blue Jays. All right, what am I missing here? Oh, man. Why am I not getting any Red Sox? This is going to be really controversial. I almost feel like I didn't include them. We have the Red Sox as the chalk stack on both sites. I don't have them at all.
Is it because Mike Hochschild's so good?
You know what? That's going to be a decent chunk of it now that I think about it. If I have Hochschild in 25% of my lineups, I'm naturally not going to have the Red Sox in those 25.
Right, but you'd still get some based on how highly you have.
I literally have 0 on DK.
That really surprises me. It's not like their total's low.
No, it surprises me, but like, 3 outfielders over 5,400. The only other high in the order guy is Moreland at first, so that's easily fillable. Wow. Like, I've got 1% aggregate on FanDuel. We're projecting 14. I've got 0 on DK. We're projecting 11. So I have drawn a line in the sand that says, give me Mike Hochschild over the Red Sox bats. There's a take you're not getting everywhere.
Oh, there we go. Tom's in chat. Something is going to happen in that area. Open to ideas from chat. There we go.
There you go.
Give Tom your ideas, guys.
Yeah. Look, we're willing to try anything that people want. But there's only so many times you could be like, hey, everybody at Osimo, would you rather have Kendry Morales or Mitch Moreland tonight?
Yeah.
I want to jump off my house.
Shark, are we going to get solo Jake shows for NHL? I don't know if they're going to be solo, but we'll definitely be doing shows for sure.
Yeah, I can't help you on that one.
You don't talk NHL?
I wouldn't even know how. Like, I can talk baseball because I understand baseball, even without like paying attention to it all that much. But like, I never even messed around with hockey.
It's so fun.
I can talk stats, but like, I'd have no confidence backing it up.
It's kind of like NHL or MLB in that you don't necessarily need to watch it. I mean, you can pick stuff up from watching it, but you could still be successful without like sitting down and watching hockey 5 nights a week. So, if that's attractive to people,
yeah. Look, I might think about playing it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm anxious to see where I end up on the Red Sox because this is the most I've ever been off from the team. I'm 11% different on DraftKings. Fascinating.
Yeah. I would guess you're going to end up with more Red Sox than that by lock, right?
Oh, you see what Tom said?
Yeah. So I knew that.
Okay.
I thought we talked about that. Maybe it was just me and Tom, but
my memory's trash.
Yeah. So we're just gonna pop in on the live stream and like update on like line changes or anything for the first few games because they'll be doing warm ups by that time. You can see if players are out or like lines have switched up. So just pop on there for a few minutes and talk some NHL and yeah, it'll be good.
T McBee nailed the answer for Cody's more cash talk. It's incredibly boring to talk about cash DFS.
Yeah, I agree. I've never really played it though, so I guess I'm probably biased.
Yeah. Moving on. God, today is going to be so unique for me. Cardinals and Marlins. Cardinals 4.1 run implied total. Marlins 3.9. It's a 53% chance to win for the Cardinals. John Gant going for St. Louis. Trevor Richards going for Miami. Another day with a very large amount of a mid-tier value pitcher. John Gant. I am close to triple the field. I love the spot. There are a lot of guys I don't really love in that Marlins lineup. I'm a bit of a fan of John Gant. I don't have any hitting in this game. The only real exposure that I have is a ton of Gant. So are you looking at Gant at all?
I guess you have to here. 6,300. He's going to get mostly righties, a pitcher spot. He looks a lot better to me against righties. And then against lefties, like these numbers still seem fake. He's been pitching almost the whole season. 58.9% hard contact against lefties. Like, what is that?
Not awesome.
Yeah. So he's only going to get like Bohr and Dietrich. That's the only 2 guys you're even remotely scared of, mostly Bohr. So he makes sense for me. I think he should be able to handle most of these righties. And he's 6,300 in a good park. Hopefully they close the roof. But even if they don't, the wind's blowing in from right. So he is a guy that I'll have exposure to. I will have more Malone though. So what about Trevor Richards?
I got 3%. I'm under the field. We're showing 10. I'm a little surprised I don't have more, but 7,800. He's just overpriced, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I like Richards against lefties. He's got that really nasty changeup. It doesn't really. I mean, he throws it to righties and he does okay with it, but when you're throwing a bunch of changeups righty, like you're gonna hang one at some point, and he's gonna get 5 straight righties. So if this was a more lefty-heavy lineup, like he dominated the Nationals. I think he went 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, something like that. That's a lefty-heavy team. this isn't the matchup for him, so I'm more on Cardinals bats, I think, than Trevor Richards. Just those righties in the middle of that lineup.
I don't have any bats in this game at all. 1% of Martinez, Ozuna, and Wong, and that's it. Everything else is a 0.
Okay.
There's just so many other like 5-run implied total spots that this one is sort of. This is the game I need to stay quiet tonight.
Right. So Richards 48% hard contact against righties. So it's showed already in the results. 171 whip. Like, he's just a much better pitcher so far against lefties. And it makes sense.
Yeah. Ooh, this game is going to worry me for some reason. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that somebody's going to blow up here.
Cardinals.
I hope not. Orioles and Rays. Orioles 3.5 run implied total. Rays 4.5. 61% chance to win for the Rays. Andrew Kashner going for Baltimore. Ryan Stanek getting the start for Tampa. We had a bit of a discussion before this started. We think it's probably going to be Faria coming in. If it's not Faria, I'm assuming it'll be Beeks. I haven't seen anything yet on it. Last I checked, Fantasy Cruncher did not have either of those guys listed. So until that happens, I can't even crunch with it. Unless I don't know how to use this software sometimes. Okay, so there's Berea now.
Faria?
Oh, wrong guy. I saw the IA at the end of the name, and I was like, oh, there he is. Yeah, so still nobody on there. I'm going to assume it's Faria, though, after seeing how long it's been since he's thrown. Let's plug that in just to see how the details look. Steamer. Rays. I think he'll probably be an okay value option.
Faria?
Yeah.
I agree. If we have clarity on who's going, I'm nervous to use these Rays pitchers because it's happened now twice. I think people used Faria yesterday. He was supposed to come in after Glasnow, but that didn't happen, obviously. And then the Yanni Chirinos thing, or whatever that was on Friday. So maybe some conflicting reports. If that's the case, whether it's Beeks or Faria, I may just avoid, unless there's like multiple sources saying it's going to be this guy, it's going to be this guy.
Yeah, if Faria's in, he's going to be incredibly popular for me.
I think he'll be popular all around, or even if it's Beeks.
Yeah.
Just because.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just because a cheap pitcher going up against the Orioles on a terrible slate in a good park, on a terrible pitching slate in a good park.
PKTMI in the chat. Can someone explain how to best use the Osmo stack sheet when picking stacks at the end? I mean, that's like sort of what the article does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
like the details of the article are explaining exactly how to use it for that particular day. It's the same sort of theory for every single day. You read like 2 or 3 of them, it's kind of pointing you in the direction of like what to look at.
Yeah.
Anyway, Orioles and Rays, Andrew Kashner. We're going to assume Jake Faria. I'll have a lot of Faria if and when I can actually run that crunch. Andrew Kashner, 15% owned on DraftKings. The floor is yours if you think that's a good one.
Yeah, no, not on Kashner. I get it. It's a good park, and he's super cheap as well. But this Rays lineup isn't just like a pushover, and they've got a lot of lefties and some lefty power in there. Bowers and G-Man Choi. Kiermaier can hit righties. We got speed at the top with Malik Smith. It's not like just a cupcake matchup or anything for Kashner. So I'm on the Rays bats, especially if Kashner is going to be popular. Like that. That's very easy for me. And like it's not like Kashner has big strikeout upside where he could ruin the slate and get 25 points at 5K. I just would rather go. I'd rather play Hochschild, I think, at their respective ownerships.
Ooh, Brett Wojo in the chat. Stanek will work as the opener tonight with plans for Beeks to work behind him. Faria was slated for relief duty Tuesday, but was, quote, a little banged up. So
that would have been nice to know for some people.
Yeah, fuck.
Although I didn't play Faria yesterday. I didn't like mess with the Rays pitchers.
All right, so if it's Beeks today, since we're still here.
Let me plug in Beeks.
Yeah. If it's Beeks, he'll probably be even more popular. 5,900 on DK. I'll be all over him. I've got him in for 4.7 innings too. So.
Whoa. All right then. 4.7. He got hammered, right, by Baltimore a couple weeks ago.
I thought he played well. Wait, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Before the trade?
No. Right, like first
Ooh,
time.
Yeah, he did. Holy shit.
He got hammered.
And then he shut down the Angels. I didn't realize he pitched twice.
Yep. So he pitched like a couple days after he got traded.
No home runs, though. He basically got, like, hit to death.
I just remember because I played him. I was like, oh, I'm going to play this guy at like 5%. He's going to get me 15 points. Nope.
I want to see what happened here.
I'm going to put Beeks in.
Dude, he had a 3.9 whip in that outing.
That's really bad.
Only 11% hard contact in it, though. It was just sort of hits on hits on hits. A lot of line drives, but nothing crazy hard. Anyway, I'll have a lot of Beeks regardless. I'll have whoever it is. Is all.
Yeah, gotta at least consider these guys, I think.
Yeah, I mean, 61% chance to win for the Rays right now. Like, I'll take my chances. It lines up a little bit better for the Orioles because they're so righty heavy. But at 5,900, I think he'll be a really nice value option.
Sure.
If Cashner is owned, I get the idea of going to a little bit of the Rays bats, but I really don't like much of the hitting in this game.
I mean, it's not a good park, but
no.
You're just making a leverage play if we expect Cashner to be popular.
Oh, I can't wait to start talking about NBA. Tom, don't get me excited about this stuff. I love the NBA so much. It just feels like the same drill for baseball every morning where, like, you know, basically everybody plays every single day. So the content is obviously different pitching every day, but it's the same sort of path. Whereas NBA, it's like 10 games and 3 games and 6 games. And, like, one team might not even play in those 3 days. So every slate feels so much more unique. God, I love basketball. Oh, that's my basketball rant.
No, I feel the same way about NHL. So I'm getting excited for it.
Twins and Indians. The Jakes not looking great today. 3.8 run implied total. Indians 5.3. It's a 65% chance to win for the Indians. Jake Odorizzi going for Minnesota. Mike Clevenger going for Cleveland. Clevenger pretty popular. 23% expected ownership on DK. I've got 19. 11% expected ownership on FanDuel. I'm actually a bit above the field there at 19%. Got him same on both sites. Interesting enough. No Odorizzi for me, although he's getting a little bit of juice on DK. So is Clevenger a guy that you're paying attention to tonight?
Not really. I like Clevenger. I love playing him when there's going to be a bunch of righties in the lineup. But you've got Sano in there. There's like a couple strikeouts probably. But Garver down in the order. Forsythe. I mean, whatever. It's not a great Twins lineup. Not trying to say that this is a super tough matchup for Clevenger, but there are guys that I want to use against him, like Rosario and Polanco, maybe even your boy Logan Morrison. I just like Max Kepler as a hitter, and Mauer's going to be tough to lead off with. Like, he's probably not going to strike out Mauer. So it's just a sneaky tough matchup for Clevenger. For strikeouts. So, yeah, I'm kind of on some of these Twins bats, and I expect Clevenger to be popular. We have him being popular. So I kind of like that leverage point.
Jaleel Okafor to the Pelicans. I like that as a flyer for the Pelicans, but we don't need to go into that right now. That's for another show. Hitting here. Twins. Number 3 stack on FanDuel for me today. Didn't see that one coming with that 3.8 run implied total, but they are cheap. Mauer, 2,400 leading off. Eddie Rosario, 3,000 hitting 2. Polanco, 2,700. Logan Morrison, 2,500. Sano, 2,600. They're a bargain stack on FanDuel that makes it really easy to do other things.
Yeah, that's the thing too. On DK, they're cheap. Rosario under 4,500, Polanco under 4K, Morrison under 4K. I mean, you can get to a little mini stack. I don't love it, but if I end up with a bunch of Twins minis, I'll be perfectly fine with that because lefty power is how you get to Clevenger, and they certainly have some of it at the top at least.
Definitely. So I'm going to have some solid Twins exposure, more on FanDuel than DK. And similar story for the Indians. We're projecting 7% aggregate on FanDuel, 6 on DK. I've got double the field almost on FanDuel. Lots and lots of Lindor, Brantley, Yonder Alonso, Melky Cabrera. These are guys I want to have a bit of. Jose Ramirez on DK at 6,000. I'm still getting him. This is a game where I have a lot of hitting. I didn't expect to be so much on the Twins side, yet here we are. Lots to like here. I hope this game doesn't stay quiet.
Yeah, I like the contrarian twin stack. What about, you said you are on the Indians?
I am. I'm a little bit over the field on DK. I'm way over on FanDuel. They're 6th for me on FanDuel, 7th on DraftKings.
Yeah, hard not to like them here. Just at home, they just crush when they're at home. Big favorites, 5.4 implied total. Odorizzi, he's fine, but does give up a lot of hard hits, and that's going to be trouble, I think. Got 6K, Jose Ramirez. I will still play him. Lindor, 5,800. Super expensive, but Brantley under 5K for some reason. And then the bottom of this lineup, I don't love it, but they are pretty cheap. I wish Leonis Martin was hitting higher in the order, but
Same.
Can't always get what you want.
Yeah, so the reason that I get a lot more guys like Mike Hochschild and such is because it allows me to get to a Lindor, Ramirez, Brantley, Encarnacion stack for fucking $21,300.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the reasons why I have value pitchers as my SP2, because if you don't, you almost can't play the Indians unless you're really into the Melky Cabrera, Jason Kipnis, Yan Gomes, Leonis Martin stack, which you shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great looking stack at the bottom, but the top looks pretty good.
Yeah, love paying up for the bats for the Indians here, especially with a 5.3 run implied total, second highest on the site. Well, tied for second with the Yankees. What I got? I don't know. Moving on. Not Padres, plural. 2 dads. 3.8 run implied total for the Padres. Brewers, 5.0. It's a 63% chance to win for the Brew Crew. Brett Kennedy going for San Diego. Julius Chassin going for Milwaukee. I've got way too much Brett Kennedy. We're projecting 6% ownership. I've got 4 times that. I will mute that quite a bit. But I'll still be more than double the field if that 6% holds true. Chassin, super chalky, 24% ownership. I've got about half that. Not a guy that I like having in abundance. So talk about the pitching here, because I've sort of got the inverse of what the public's looking at.
Sure. So Chassin, I figured he'd be popular. I mean, I get it. He's very, very good against righties. Going to see mostly righties. He's at home. Should have run support according to Vegas. And he's been okay. So I get the Chassin play. I mean, I didn't want to see a bunch of ownership for him. And obviously there is a lot of ownership for him, almost 25%.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and I think he's still an average pitcher. So it's not like he's a great pitcher that's just underpriced. He's just priced fairly, and it's a good matchup, and everyone's going to be on him for that reason, just because of the lack of options. So that's why I liked Malone as a GPP play. I like Gant some, but there's just not a lot in this range, or just not a lot on this slate. So I understand it.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, the Padres are bad.
Yeah, very.
Hunter Renfroe Ks 27% of the time. Hedges 27. Villanueva 25. Like, bleh. Just putrid. Yeah. But man, if anybody can make people look good, it's probably Chassin.
Yeah. And then Kennedy on the other side, I don't think I'm going to him. I mean, he's 5,100 and he's somewhat stretched out through 78 last time, 98, 94, 96. So he could get up into the 90s if things are going well, but I don't have faith that things are going to be going well. Against Yelich, Kane, Moustakas, Aguilar, Scope, those top 7 are incredibly tough for a guy making his first start this year. So I'm going to be off of Kennedy, I think. I'd rather go and take a flyer with Hochschild. But, yeah, I like the Brewers stack, all those guys I mentioned.
So I don't really love the Brewers on DK. I have half the field. I don't really love the price point. But they're pretty chalky on FanDuel, 12% aggregate, and I'm over that. I have the Brewers as my second most owned stack on FanDuel. I've got 30% Moustakas, $3,100. Double the field on Travis Shaw, $3,000 for a second baseman, which is funny. Tons of Thames, $2,900. And then you get guys like Kane or Yelich, whoever else you want to fill out. They're just super bargain priced on FanDuel, so I'm not going to be able to get away from that. The implied total looks good. I just don't love the pricing as much on DraftKings.
Yeah, they're really expensive on DK. There's no doubt.
Like I didn't get any Yelich at 5,700.
I love Yelich, so I'll play him at pretty much any price, but that's really, really expensive.
Man, that's a really big gap. 14% aggregate ownership for the Brewers on FanDuel, 3 on DK. I hate when that happens, man. I hate those big pricing gaps because then I don't know what to cheer for. Yeah, I'm all over this game in weird ways.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm basically just on some Chassin, and then Brewers bats. Probably going to hold off on Kennedy.
Alrighty. I'll ride the Kennedy Hochschild train. It's a co-train today.
You can play Yelich at 5,700. You can definitely play Yelich. Like that.
Yeah. As long as he's leading off.
Yeah, no, he's a fine play. He's a good hitter. Just overpriced, sure, but you can play overpriced hitters.
Agreed. It's not so much like the Yelich price. It's Aguilar at 48.
Yeah.
Even Shaw at 46. Dual eligibility helps. Thames hitting 7th and 5,200. Like, those are the ones that are making it hard to get to Yelich because there's nothing to put with him. If you wanted to have Yelich if you had 5,700 left, I think Yelich makes for a really nice one-off.
He's going to be low owned because of that price. I mean, what does worth the price mean, though? You know, because value, you can hit value in one at bat. If he hits a home run, he's worth the price. It's just such an event-based sport that you can't really predict value in a one-game sample. You can predict it over the long term, I guess, if someone's just perpetually underpriced. But yeah, I mean, he's just going to be low owned, and he's a good hitter. He could easily hit a home run here.
Absolutely.
We're going to cover the early, right? Are you playing it?
So I looked at it wrong this morning. Normally, when I see that and I saw that it was a 4-game slate, like I would load that up. I don't know if it was just because of the way the filters were set up when I got to FanDuel, but yeah. I didn't see it. Let me see if I could reset this so I could see what I saw. I saw a shorter note. Like I didn't see the 4 for some reason, so I ignored it. But we can touch on it a little bit. I just don't have anything loaded.
Okay.
I actually want to play it now. I hate that I didn't put everything that I wanted in here. So, my fault.
No, you're good. I've got some stuff loaded up. I've got some takes, so we can go through it just generally. We don't have to go game by game or anything. If these people in the chat want to ask some questions or just not 1v1s. Just ask like general questions about the slate. That would be perfectly fine after we're done.
Sean V, totals are garbage a lot of the times. Those are the hot takes I love in chat.
Well,
go ahead.
Game by game, I mean, I kind of agree. Game by game, it's really tough to predict baseball. That's why you play DFS. You play as many slates as possible. You get as much volume to ride out the variance. If you're playing positive expected value plays every single day, you should come out ahead in a huge sample. But like the Cubs could score. The Cubs have a 5.5 run total. Would you be shocked if they scored 11 runs? Would you be shocked if they scored 2 runs? No. So it's just over the long haul. Vegas is going to be right more often than they're wrong.
Vegas is going to be right more often than we are.
Of course. Yeah.
It's the most important factor for me because it's the thing that I don't have to do the work for.
They do a lot of this work already with like travel schedules and all this stuff. People think they're being like sneaky, like, oh, this team just traveled across the country. And it's like, that's already baked into the line, you know?
Yeah,
that's
It's widely understood that a wisdom of the crowds approach is going to be generally a more accurate way to look at things for almost anything in life. So yeah, I appreciate the public betting on games so that I don't have to do that sort of work.
Mm-hmm.
We use Vegas as a term. They're not setting anything. It's a volume proposition. And when 1 million different people bet on a game, I'm using ridiculous numbers, but when 1 million different people put money on a game, it congregates around the expectation. It's that easy. They're not setting anything on public perception. I mean, maybe like the spread of a Super Bowl or something, but this is getting hashed out with just financials. They don't give a shit about what they set the line at. Anyway, Yankees and White Sox. Yankees, 5.3 run implied total. White Sox, 3.2. God, the White Sox suck. 72% chance to win for the Yanks. Luis Severino going for New York. My man, Luke Giolito, going for the White Sox. I love these days, man. It's stack against Giolito day. And Severino, 36% expected ownership on DK, 47% expected ownership on FanDuel. I'm right there with the field. Tons and tons of Severino. Best matchup on the board by far.
Yep. This is the perfect bounce back spot. He should be the highest owned player on the slate, and we have him as being that. I 100% agree with it. This is the kind of pitcher I'll take at chalk. Guy with just crazy strikeout upside. Even though he's had a few rough starts in a row, 4 straight starts with at least 4 earned runs, and he's not been going deep. 2 of those are against Cleveland and Boston. The swinging strike rates were really low in that, as you would kind of expect. This is just such a good bounce back spot for Severino against a team that strikes out over 25% of the time against righties. He's striking out both righties and lefties over 26% of the time this year. So, yeah, hard not to like Severino. I 100% agree with the Severino chalk. I will play the Severino chalk. He's the best pitcher on the slate. And maybe that's not saying much, but I think he is the best play on the slate.
Okay, I got to get into this right now. Cody, you're driving me insane here. Yeah, that might have, your thought process here might have been the case 10 years ago. If there's always value betting underdogs in baseball, that would go away. You're even explaining why it's wrong. If everybody knew there was value on dogs, everybody would bet dogs and everybody would make money. It's an impossible stance. If you're sitting in like Caesar's Palace Sportsbook or something, maybe there's shading. It's all algorithmic now. If you can put $10,000 on a baseball game on Pinnacle.com, they don't give a shit about the public. They're taking too much volume in here to get cute. It's not a thing anymore. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, absolutely. It's not the same thing anymore. It's not just like, oh, it's a dog, so I can bet the dog. That's not how it works on Pinnacle. They're taking way too much monetary volume on an individual game. It was different back in the day. But with the high limits on an online sportsbook, They're not trying, like, they don't have the ability to do that any longer. They want the volume, and that's why it's going to balance itself out. It's not like there's a guy in the back room changing the lines and stuff. There's no need for it anymore.
There's not always value in betting anything. If there was just a rule that always bet underdogs or whatever, just
it get chewed
everybody
up
would
immediately.
know that. Yeah. Anytime there's an edge that's starting to become public, Vegas adjusts.
Yeah. Like we use the term Vegas as like a general term to mean lines. I would never look at a Vegas sportsbook line. It's trash. I want to go
Pinnacle.
to where the mass volume is. The standard bearer for that is Pinnacle.
Yeah, okay. I have proof that only betting dogs, not every single dog, but dogs I choose has profit. Yeah, if you are making positive expected value bets on certain dogs, then yeah, you're going to be positive expected value over the long term.
There we go.
But you just saying blindly betting dogs has value, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, he corrected himself.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. At least we're on a similar page there. Yeah, congrats for being good at betting dogs. Like, that can be a thing.
Sure. Just got to bet the right ones.
Yeah. It's just there's too much volume on an individual game right now for it to matter any longer.
But there's also value in betting huge home favorites sometimes. Sometimes a team's minus 200 and they should be minus 235. You should bet that every single time.
Yeah, the days of like stagnant lines at big time sports books are just long gone, and that was the sort of like the wiggle room you needed. I don't think that I'm ever gonna get off the Giancarlo Stanton train. I got double the field again. This dude is. I might like if I didn't hate the Yankees so much, I would probably get a Stanton jersey. But I could never put that on my body for fear that it would like burn my skin. I love the Yanks here. Number 4 on FanDuel, number 2 on DK. I'm over the field. They're chalk, but I love it. The White Sox are just atrocious. Luke Giolito is atrocious. The fact that people could have 12% Luke Giolito running into the Yankees is terrifying to me. I will have none. I don't want any. I hope his 12% goes up. I just want out on Luke Giolito. The White Sox strike out like infinitely. So this might be the best matchup of the year.
Yeah, I thought we were done with Lucas Giolito as being owned. Did he do something recently? Well, like this weekend, did he have a solid start? Because people always want to jump back on him, which is fine. I've played him a couple times this year, but I've learned my lesson the hard way. I'm not seeing anything that makes me want to play him. And, you know, if this was against the Orioles, okay, I get it. But this is against the Yankees. 80-degree weather. Like, they're still Stanton, Gregorius, Hicks, Torres, Bird, Andujar. Not an easy matchup at all. Okay, so we had 7 innings, 6 strikeouts against the Rays. Congrats. That's a nice start. But it's not like he was just mowing these guys down, like getting all these swings and misses or anything. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against the Yankees, so I am all over the Yankees stack. I hope Giolito's owned because I'll just have all the Yankees then.
Yeah, there's really no like wrong way to go on the Yanks today. I don't get a ton of Gregorius and Hicks, but I still have them. If you have the money, absolutely pay up for it. I love Greg Bird today. You know, Gleyber Torres looks incredible on DK. Austin Romine, like because I'm stacking the Yankees so heavily, becomes an interesting catcher option. So, I hate liking them, but man, this is about as good as it's going to get. That's it for me.
Yeah, I mean, Giolito's just such a good pitcher to stack against. A guy who walks more lefties than he strikes out. It's like gives up hard contact, huge xFIP, fly balls, line drives. Like what are we missing here with Giolito?
I don't get it. It's
maybe
he's
I don't know. Maybe it's a typo. Maybe it's a typo. Honestly, because we have the Yankees bats being chalky. I think they should be the overwhelming chalk. But if they're not, like these ownerships, I think they're under-owned. Besides maybe Stanton.
I agree. Cody, you're good, man. Don't sweat it. 5.98 xFIP for Giolito. If the first batter of the game, like, goes yard, he's going to have a 6 xFIP for the season.
Dude,
he's almost walked more guys than he's struck out.
He's done this too, where he's like had a good start, like out of nowhere. But man, and then people jump on him, and like he's had an okay run of starts lately, but I don't buy it at all.
I completely agree. Ugh, I hope that 12% goes up. I really, really do. Like, there's no scenario where I would be like, I want 12% Luke Giolito and 5% Hochschild. There's just not. Like, I might be stupid for having 25 on my first crunch, but I'd rather have 25 of him and 0 of Giolito.
I agree.
Craziness. Speaking of teams I have a lot of, Cubs and Royals. Cubs 5.4 run implied total, Royals 3.6. It's a 67% chance to win for the Cubbies. Jose Quintana going for Chicago, Heath Fillmyer and the rest of the Royals' garbage bullpen going for Kansas City. Yeah, don't touch the Royals. Don't touch Heath Fillmyer. You don't want any part of it. Quintana, on the other hand, I'm double the field on FanDuel. I've got 10% more than the field on DK. I think he's in a really good spot, especially at 8,300. The Royals lineup, not that great. I'm in. I'm in for having some Quintana. Is he a guy that you're looking at?
No, not really. I think he might become chalkier as the day goes on, just because he's a huge favorite. It's the Royals. The weather's not good for pitching, so maybe that'll keep some people off of him. But I expected even higher ownership than what we have, around 20%. So when that's the case for Quintana, a guy that he's not missing bats at all, like not even getting chases, swinging strike rate 7.6% for the season, and a lot of hard contact, especially to righties. I don't necessarily want to target lefties against him, but I'm in on Whit Merrifield again, Salvador Perez, maybe even Bonifacio. I think he's fine as well if you're looking to punt at outfield. Just good hitting environment and a guy that's going to be owned that I don't really believe in.
So I've got 14% aggregate ownership on the Cubs bats on DK, 13 on FanDuel. They are 5th for me on FanDuel, 3rd on DK. I am just crazy loading up on this Cubs team. Another, just like the Yankees, I can't imagine not wanting to be here. Who are the Royals going to run out there that's like scary for this lineup to face? Do the Royals have a single good pitcher that's available today?
Keller was one of their best. He went yesterday.
Yeah.
Fillmyer got 70 pitches in his last start. So he might, he could go pretty deep. Things are going well, but this is a really awesome Wilson Contreras spot. Javi Baez. Fillmyer's getting crushed by righties. 51% hard contact. Somewhat of a small sample, but he's decent at getting ground balls. But if he's not getting ground balls here, he's going to get smoked. So, yeah, I'm on the Cubs once again. Do you like the Cubs or the Yankees better? Because they're similar ownerships.
I'll say the Cubs because they're a little bit less owned.
Okay.
And I have them as essentially like equals in my numbers.
Okay.
So, just the Cubs based on slight ownership tweaks. Like Rizzo leading off is incredible. Schwarber, your boy Ian Happ, I've got a lot of. A lot of Hayward. Zobrist and Baez are expensive, but if you have the leftover cash, like I'm certainly okay with paying up for them. But it's hard not to find something to like here.
Yeah, let's see. Did Happ make contact last night? Oh, he did. He got an RBI.
There you go. Had to have
only struck out once. Yeah, only struck out once, took a walk. So he's back. No, yeah, I like the Cubs. I think I have the Yankees a little bit above them, but it's similar for me with ownership. So those are two of my top 4 stacks for sure.
I'm interested to see where you land on this next one because...
Oh, you know.
Do I?
Yeah. It's the Dodgers. Come on.
So you're on Team Josh then for this?
Of course.
Okay. Have you seen their ownership? Because we are on an island.
Yeah, even better.
Dodgers and A's. Dodgers 4.2 run implied total, which is shockingly low to me. A's 3.3. 62% chance to win for the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw going for LA. Mike Fiers going for Oakland. No Fiers for me. That should be obvious. I don't have a ton of interest in Kershaw on DK. He's 12-8. That's pretty pricey on a day where I don't think you need to go there. He's getting 15% ownership. I only have 3. He'll probably come up a little bit in my numbers, but I just prefer Severino greatly today. Kershaw at 11,000 on FanDuel, however, looks good. I'm right with the field. So, Dodgers, number 1 stack for me on FanDuel, number 1 stack for me on DK. They are my top stack, and I am triple the field on DraftKings and almost triple on FanDuel. So, give me your thoughts on Kershaw first, and then we'll talk about how much we're right about the Dodgers and everyone else is wrong.
Yeah. All right. So, just for a plug, quick, we have a Playline article, and we have a Playline contest for tonight. It's right on the top of the screen when you go to Playline's home site. If you want to go to that, quick, Josh.
Playline.com/r/Awesemo. If you haven't signed up, you will get a free $5 along with some sort of deposit bonus. These are like 20 or $25. I just can't remember off the top of my head right now.
So the 3 pitchers that you project today are Kershaw, Severino, and Clevenger. So I wrote an article about Kershaw, kind of what I'm projecting for him. I think this is going to be a good Kershaw start. I don't know if it's going to be vintage Kershaw, but Oakland really struggles at home, and they just crush on the road. In their home stadium, 24.6% K rate, 85 WRC plus against lefties this year at home. And then Kershaw just looks good to me, getting a lot more swinging strikes, going deep. I know he's a little bit overpriced, but I like him here. So I agree with the ownership. I think he should be lower than Severino for sure, but that's a decent pivot if you for whatever reason you don't believe in Severino, or you have a really chalky lineup elsewhere and you have the salary to get up to Kershaw. I think he's a decent pivot. So I'm not on the A's bats really.
No.
I understand like playing a Chapman or someone like that, but that's really about it. And then Fiers, like I just don't see anything good about Fiers against lefties. He's got a 5.06 xFIP, tons of hard contact, striking him out under 17%. Whip is higher than against righties. I know it's a park upgrade for Fiers, but man, like, why would Oakland trade for him? I
have no idea.
What are they doing? It's not like he's even having a very good year. Doesn't miss bats. Yeah, it's a bad park for hitting, but the Dodgers they've got so many good hitters. When you can put Muncy in the 7-hole, I mean, that's like an all-time great team. So I'm all over the Dodgers. I love them when they're low owned. They're going to be low owned here because of that total. They're not even priced up that high either. So I just love the Dodgers. I'm right there with you, Josh.
Yeah, and look, here's the deal. We're absolutely right, and the public is wrong. Cody Bellinger, 2,900 on FanDuel, 3% ownership. 4,100 on DK, 1% ownership. How? I don't understand. What am I missing here? Lefty on righty. Fiers sucks. Bellinger's 4,100 with dual eligibility. I have 17%. These guys are criminally underpriced right now.
I just don't get, like, the total is too low, I think. Oakland's had a good bullpen as of late, if I remember correctly, but
they're going to get to him pretty quickly if Mike Fiers is on the hill.
Yeah, man. I just don't understand it. So
is it the weather?
It's just a tough place to hit. Yeah, it's probably the weather and whatever. They may just go a little bit overlooked, but I love them as the late night hammer. Yeah. Give me some Jock, Machado, Turner, Grandal, Muncy. Oh man, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm mashing these dudes. For Grandal to be 1% owned as a catcher, that's insane. He's hitting cleanup. My God, I don't know what we're missing, but if the Dodgers pop off for like 8 or 9 runs, find us at the top of mini max.
Agreed. What number stack are they for you?
1. Both sites by a mile. I'm
Yeah.
8% over the field on FanDuel and 11 on DK.
Look, when you can get one of the best lineups in the MLB against an average pitcher, below average pitcher,
Cheap.
For cheap, I don't care about the bad part. They could easily put up 10 runs in this park. It's not perfect hitting weather, but it's not 40 degrees. It's not like, the bat's going to be stinging when they hit a ball. They can certainly hit in 65-degree weather with a little bit of wind blowing out.
The entire team has a steamer weighted runs created plus projection above 100. Everybody's at least average or better.
Yeah. So maybe they'll come up in ownership a little bit because people like to play the late night hammer, myself included.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was single entering, I think I would certainly have at least a couple Dodgers.
Yeah, it's just I hope it stays where it's at. I'm in love with this stack tonight. Brendan Bowling, when I rank my stacks, it's aggregate ownership of the entire lineup. Since I stack, it's sort of like the same thing. It's not like it's coming up randomly. But yeah, it's aggregate ownership, and then I round that off, and then I use like overall projections as the tiebreaker for teams at the similar projection range.
Yep.
You don't have to get hung up on like first or second or third. The overall value is sort of more interesting. I love this. Oh my god, I love it so much here. I can't wait to get it. Go Dodgers. I hope they go nuts. About that time.
Yeah.
Stack time. Give me 2.
All right. Let's do... Oh, wait. I can't see your screen. All this time, you still didn't share your screen with me.
Yeah, so today I did that on purpose. I think that my computer runs slower while I'm sharing my screen and streaming at the same time.
That's fine. I'll just watch on delay. Let's go.
So now we're good. I'm sharing now.
Oh, okay.
We're good now, but like for the whole thing, if you're not really looking at it, then there's no need.
All right, let's do Severino and can you do Chassin? I wonder if that'll.
I got 3 of them.
Okay.
Blue Jays, Twins, and Twins.
Twins, nice. I like the Blue Jays one.
That's a unique lineup. Holy wow. I like that middle one if you wanted to go Twins, Albies, Duvall, Grichuk. I mean, that's as good as you're going to get to fill that out.
Sure.
Duvall against the lefty, Albies against the lefty. Grichuk is, one of the better values if he's leading off. Let's pull Chassin out of there and go to... Let's see if you step down a bit further from Chassin to...
Hochschild. Try your boy Hochschild.
Okay. This is going to be the reason why you do it. I mean, there's my Yank stack, Romine, Bird, Torres, Stanton, Gardner, Turner, Machado, Grichuk. There's Dodgers stack, Cubs stack. That's why I end up with Hochschild. I don't need him to do much, and I get 2 much better bats on paper.
Yeah.
Is there any non-Dodgers one that looks interesting? There's a Braves stack with Rizzo, Schwarber, and Rendon. Like, sign me up for that. Not that I love the Braves or anything, but crazy today. But Duvall, Acuna, Swanson, Albies, Flowers with Rizzo, Schwarber, Rendon. I mean, if I told you that Rizzo, Rendon, and Schwarber all homered today, that wouldn't be like the weirdest thing in the world.
No, not at all.
All right, let's look at something a little bit more different. So let's see what happens when you go to Kershaw.
Do you like Kershaw and...
I have only got 4 lines here, so we don't have a ton of options.
Do you like...
Kershaw with the Dodgers? Shocking? Not shocking.
That's just the late night hammer of all late night hammers. You got your pitcher, your ace going with a 5-man stack as well.
Yeah, I got 2 of them here too. Wow, so this one's pretty good. Contreras as a one-off catcher, Machado and Jock, and a 5-man
I like it.
Blue Jays.
I mean, I don't like Brett Kennedy, but...
Right. Can you change it? I mean, you can... Go to Cashner, Giolito, Philmeyer, or something else. Do you want to look at anything else?
No, we should just talk quickly about the early.
Yeah. How about it?
So, is the Reds Mets game on FanDuel? Did they mess up the?
I have no idea. I'll get there probably before you do.
Okay. Oh, they started. All right. So they started at the same time.
They're not.
So there's just 4 games slate. So I was talking about Marco Gonzalez. Let me pull up the ownership quick. All right. So Corbin, obviously the chalk, and then as I thought, Barria really struggles against righties, and if the Tigers are smart, they will have some righties in this lineup. Castellanos, I love as a leverage bat against Barria. It's 92 degrees with wind blowing out there. It's not a great pitching environment. I'm actually, I think if I'm going to a pitcher in that game, it's probably Hardy more than Barria. The Angels are really struggling against lefties. And no Trout, hopefully, if you're playing Hardy. But it's just not that great of a lineup. You look at the individual numbers against lefties. So that's the appeal with Hardy. He's coming off a nice start. I don't like the Barria chalk. So that's more what I'm trying to say here. I think there are some good leverage bats on Detroit. I don't know. What do you?
You just cut out big time there. You there?
You see anything?
I didn't hear anything you just said. You were cutting
out. I was saying, what do you have on this slate? Do you see anything that jumps out to you at all, looking at ownership or just the slate in general, like pricing? I wonder what is the chat thinking here?
I mean, I like the idea of Archer at 6,800, but Coors is obviously in play there. What's that weather look like? I would probably have a lot of Archer at that price point, but 35% ownership. I'd probably be higher than that.
So I think I like Marco Gonzalez quite a bit here. 8,400. He's just had a run of really, really good starts, getting a lot more chases and swinging strikes. And then Texas chases as much as any team in the entire MLB. So I'm on Marco. I'm assuming he's going to have a lot of run support. It's 100 degrees, not a fun place to pitch, but he's been good enough where I'm willing to take the risk at what is very, very little ownership.
Yeah, I know that I wouldn't get a lot of Gonzalez, but after that little deep dive we did on him a couple weeks ago where it looks like he's pitching differently, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Texas is always just a pretty difficult place to play.
Yeah.
That's my bad for not loading this stuff up.
So what do you think about no, you're good. What do you think about Velasquez and Corbin? Those are the two guys that a lot of people are going to be on, especially Corbin. I get that. He's got the highest upside on the slate. I don't know what to do with Velasquez on this early one.
I like him quite a bit. I'm surprised I think Velasquez would probably be my most owned starter if I had to guess.
Yeah,
the implied total of 7 and 7.6, like overall in Arizona, that's crazy.
Yeah, and if you want to pay for big bats, it's tough to get to Corbin. So it looks like we expect people to go with the Corbin and Barria combo and try to get some bats. But if you could go like Hardy and Velasquez, you're going to be somewhat different, or Hardy and Archer, Velasquez, something like that. You still got strikeout upside. I don't know. And then you can pay up for every bat, whatever side of Coors you like. You can get some leverage off of the chalky Jaime Barria and then get some Seattle bats, or if you're on the Texas bats. So that's kind of where I'm at for this slate. I feel like it's going to be pretty easy for me to get different.
Yeah, I might load this up and actually play now. How do the DraftKings tournaments look? I didn't look at what
you're cutting out. I can't hear a thing.
Well, there you go. That makes sense. I'm looking at the tournaments now for DK for the early slate.
Oh, okay.
Table set or
yeah,
solo
I think it's about.
shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're like cutting out every other word.
Lovely. That's how you were before. So, oh wow, all of our connections are really good too. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Nor do I.
VV gets rocked. So I'd say my favorite stacks are Seattle, number 1. I like going against Herman Marquez. So I like these Pirates power lefties, Dickerson, Polanco, Moran, Bell if he's in. And then Starlin Marte is hitting righties much better. So I like him as well. So it'd go Mariners, Pirates, and then I'm really on the Tigers leverage bats. I don't know if I'll full stack against Berea, but Castellanos, Candelario, even some John Hicks if he's in there, first base and catcher eligibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the early now.
Yeah,
I'll tweet out some of my stuff on the early slate in the early afternoon once we get the lineups out. I'll let everybody know where I'm at.
Like it. I just think like the main thing is the Berea chalk. It was pretty easy to predict. He's going to be heavily owned. He's cheap. He's a favorite. It's Detroit. I get it, but it's not like he's been mowing down righties or lefties for that matter. But he's been better against lefties. 41% hard contact against righties. A 574 xFIP, 15%. Castellanos, baby. You were saying you liked Herman on the night shift? Yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's in Coors. I thought he'd be lower owned.
Here we go.
But like looking at these ownerships, I think that you can attack either side of Coors. And if everyone's going to be paying up for Corbin and not for Gio or not for Marco, not for Hardy, then like I'll just end up with a bunch of Coors bats because I can afford it. Whereas I don't think other people can if they're going to Corbin.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some research now, and I will tweet out my faves on the hitting side and pitching side. So follow me at Josh Engelman. Follow at Jake Hari as well.
Yeah, follow us.
Are we done?
I think so. I think that's all good.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Again, we have another Playline contest out there today. Playline.com/r/Awesemo if you haven't signed up before. Check out the site. Jake wrote up a nice article on Clayton Kershaw for tonight. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Shooting for those 200 likes today. Let's break the record. We got 100 2 days ago. Let's double that up today.
Yeah, hit that like button.
Trust you guys. Live stream tonight. Myself and Chris Spags. We'll have quick hits out later. We'll have email blast out this afternoon. Lots of stuff going on here. So thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys later tonight. Adios.